Welcome to Home Cinema and Tech Review. In this video, I'm going to review the projector that I probably showed in the couple of the videos without telling you the model. And I purchased it myself. And it's not an expensive projector. It's highly bright. It's LED. And it's not 4K. It's not Full HD. It's 720p plus. It's WXGA. And it's a new one. It's an LED one. And behind me, 150-inch image, and it's awesome. So, without further ado, let's start. I know you're wondering the model, and I got huge amount of notes, and I will give you the full conclusion in the beginning. But before diving the model and the specs and why I bought it myself, because I purchased it with my own hard-earned cash, I'm going to tell you one important thing. I'm using a video light right now to show you myself. That's why there's a little bit of contrast lost. And the video is being shot in auto exposure mode. So when you go back and forth, video will be bouncing all over the place. The reason is when you go too dark, you don't see a thing. I will be in a pitch black room and it's not going to make too much of a sense. And with the lights, it needs to adjust. Otherwise, I will be overexposed. So once this is put out of the way, I will tell you the model. It's the ViewSonic LS600W. So it's an LED 720p plus, like a 1280 to 800 pixel WXGA, kind of like a mid-ground resolution between the 720p and the Full HD. But of course, very close to 720p. Device on the declaration is 3500 ANSI lumen, which was one of the reasons that I purchased it. I found the good price, I found the high brightness, and I found the LED power, so I knew I would get a high contrast. But before talking about details, I'm going to close the lights so you will have a better idea with this bright projector. First, for the bright scenes, camera exposed, and you probably see me darker, but you're going to see the contrast that I see in real life. But when the scenes get darker, camera is going to push up, so you're going to see a little bit of lacking on the contrast. Get ready for that. But the picture, I will shoot a dedicated last section of this conclusion, so you get a fixed expose, kind of like a contrast. But before that, I want to talk about some of the specs and why I am very happy with this projector. So it was 3500 ANSI lumen on the declaration, but I've tested about 2000 ANSI lumens in the standard mode. And that's great. I haven't even pushed it to the high bright section. The one other thing is it has 125% Rec 709 coverage on their website declaration. And on their website, it says 37 milliseconds of HDMI latency. But I've tested with my laptop, and you're going to see the end of the video, just the dedicated slow motion section. This device can achieve 60 milliseconds, 17, 20, 15, and 25. So I can call this projector 15 to 20 millisecond ratio. So we can call it roughly 20 milliseconds in my slow motion shot HDMI latency basic setup. But on their declaration, 37 is far more than enough for casual gaming if you're going to connect your Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, maybe even 4, who knows. So you will be happy with this device. And as you can see, it's a bright device. And I measured 2000 ANSI lumen in the standard mode. I want to repeat this. You might be thinking the brightness is not as much as you would imagine, but I can tell you one other number which could probably, take your socks off, I guess. So normally, behind me, there is a 75-inch TV, and you probably seen it in the different videos. You're going to be probably seeing side-by-side version because I've created dedicated content. If you got a bright projector, even without an ALR, can you match the brightness of the TV and how much of a contrast that you lose along the way? Video. So that's a tutorial. I don't know if you're going to watch that before or after this video, so I'm going to tell you that. But this TV, I'm going to repeat some of the stuff in that video. This TV is a 1000 nits TV and it's 75 inch, and it gives from the center point, like if I measure it with the brightness measurement tool, it gives 450 lux, maybe 500 up to lux. This projector gives in 135 inch 377 lux and 100 inch 665 lux. So basically this projector can give very similar, and I already measured it 442 so with this TV. So basically 440 450 lux from the TV, we can have 135 inch and the lux level of 377. So it's very close to the TV level of brightness with the HDR mode on of the TV at scale of 3.5 times bigger screen, like 135. And I'm not showing you 135 because it starts here and finishes there. This is like a 150. So you can clearly use this projector in a huge scale. And that's one of the things that I wanted to purchase this projector and tested it. So it's success. So if you don't know, I have another projector here, ViewSonic X2 4K, right here under. So I'm going to review that projector, but it was shockingly interesting. The ViewSonic X2 on the declaration, a lot more expensive than this, but it's a 4K gaming projector. It says on the declaration 2900 ANSI lumen, but this is very bright projector. So I don't do side by side yet. I haven't done it, but with my eyes, I can clearly say this is a lot brighter projector. And which one, if you ask me, I prefer, if I'm going to, of course, rely on the resolution, and if I'm going to get close to see text and while gaming, well, it might be if you have 3 to 4 times the budget of this projector, but still, that doesn't make too much of a sense. If I'm going to watch videos like this, I would pick this one, even though this is a 720p-ish projector. If I go 4K videos like this, if I push it from the, the dongle like this, I would be very happy to say I would pick this up, like probably 9 out of 10, instead of the 4K version of, again, from the ViewSonic, a lot more expensive. So this is a 5 kilo device, not a small one. You got 2 HDMIs, that's one of the pluses from me, and you're going to see the rest of the specs. I'm not going to keep this video too long, but by the way, I'm not going to show you the default ViewSonic menu because it's a really default menu, as you can see. It's running Dynamic Black 1 right now, and even the echo mode is far more than enough for me. Let me just go to the echo. This is the echo. I mean, it's still really far more than enough if you are okay with it. And if you ask me in a darkroom setup, I would probably 9 out of 10 use this projector in the echo mode at 150 inch. So isn't there anything bad about it? Yes, there is some things bad about it. First, this projector, I created a dedicated tutorial with the zoom projectors, doesn't have the best focal setup. So the optical element, when you fully zoomed in, gets a little softer for the distance that I got for the projector. So I have to use it fully wide open when zoomed out to get the sharpest image like this. So if I zoom in, get the image shrink, let me just show you. This is 1.2x zoom. And right now, this is a 135-inch image, just fit it to the screen. And I'm going to go back from here to here pretty quick. Zoom is something pretty cool to have, but when you zoom all the way in for the setup and the placement that I got, image gets softer. Interestingly, when you zoom in, image gets softer. Normally, when you go small, image needs to be sharper. So that's a whole another tutorial video. I made it, you can watch it. The projector that what I was talking about was this ViewSonic LS600W. So still, it's something that you can avoid. You can push the projector far away, or you can go wide, and without the zoom, you can get the projector closer and you can solve this problem. That might not be a total problem for you. The second problem is, of course, the size of this thing. It's not small, and the weight. You can also skip this out. It's not a smart projector for about the price range $800, in my region $900. It's not a cheap projector. For this price, you might want to have full HD, and you might want to add a little bit and get a 4K projector. And all these things could be understandable. Normally, you can probably get a full HD laser or LED projector like JM Go probably, or maybe Anchor, I don't know. But basically, you can get a full HD projector, but all those projectors will be probably about 1000 ANSI lumen on the declaration, maybe a little bit lower on the reality of the power they put out. So you will get a little bit more resolution, more pixels, but you wouldn't get this much of a brightness. And when you go big, you want the brightness. This really matches the TV's brightness at the scale of 135 and 100 and maybe up to 50 decent TV brightness levels. And this is something that you can't probably have for a similar price at the Full HD laser or LED good lifestyle projectors. So any other thing that I can count on negatively, it doesn't have a smart function, but it has a 2 HDMI, so you can connect a console and dongle like me. And of course, the last negative thing is a 720p-ish WXGA resolution. It's not the best for looking out for the texts. And let me just show you by going from one position. Let's just stop this video, okay, at this level. And I'm going to hit another section. You can go blind with this much brightness. And if I hit HDMI 2, the one thing is interesting, if you connect consoles, okay, right now I have connected my gaming console, Xbox Series X, since it is based on my reference and my tests, it's about probably 15 to 17 milliseconds, maybe up to 20, but on the declaration, it's 37, so this is a gaming capable projector. But once you push the games and get into the menu, it just go back and forth a little bit. I guess the auto resolution of the console is trying to figure out what is this device that it's playing on. So this much of a thing doesn't happen with the ViewSonic X4 that I got. So let's begin to a colorful gaming. Okay, if you know this game. This is a platform game I play most of the time with the kids. So, whoops. That was a game. I'm trying to show you some of the variations. You can play maybe a racing game. So again, you're seeing going back and forth on the resolution. That might be kind of like bothering for some people, because it does this probably in every potential game. This is a Forza Horizon 5, and I'm going to try to play while I talk about the picture quality of this projector. When it comes down to the colors, like I said, you're going to see the specs on the screen. It's not a cinema grade projector, okay? But you can really enjoy, and as you can see, I am enjoying it very much. Like, this is a pretty big screen, and it really success delivering a bright image. Let's just drift a bit for you without skipping. I guess I got this. So I'm still on the race. I thought I messed up by skipping a section point there. So I'm going to use handbrake. Well, hit the wall. But still, let's go back. I am, I guess, just in front of one car. So I'm not playing too good. So all I can tell you, 720p, when you get close, you can clearly see the pixels and they're getting huge. This is the last thing. So when it is useful then? Well, if you're going to play games, I test it, at least with my eyesight, I can clearly focus. When I focus on the details, small text, Okay, I can see this is a 720p. So if you can get the full HD version of this, I will leave the models in the description of this video. You can try to look for that. I would have picked that up, but normally I don't need a full HD and 720p. I bought this because this was cheaper one. I already have a couple of 4Ks laying around, so this is not my personal purchase. If I have to purchase, I will probably spend 100, maybe 150, maybe up to $200 and get the full HD because it really makes sense if you're going to use it overall. But as I created a dedicated video, how much resolution that you need video, I explained you don't need huge amount of resolution. You can go back and watch the bulb old ViewSonic projector with a 720p resolution, how good it was looking on that video with different examples. This video is not going to be covering the entire topic of that. And other than that, I guess if you have a limited budget where this projector sits, you can buy a long throw ALR screen and you can buy this and you can have a pretty much pitch black contrast of an OLED TV. This might be creating the ultimate contrasted and ambient light rejection usable in the lit environment setup for you because it's a bright projector. So one of the things that people ask is like, if you want to spend the entire budget to the single device like a projector and then want to think about the screen later on, okay, that's a good thinking. It could be a positioning, like if you don't have a flat, if you're moving from flat one place to another, carrying a projector without a screen makes sense. But if you're not going to move your home, okay, if you're going to stay at home, and if you're going to enjoy the projector, you will get the best blacks with ALR, with a bright projector like this. But even though if you don't have an ALR, this is an LED high-level contrast projector, and if you tune it up, you will definitely get better contrast from this projector with different gamma settings. And I have achieved it. I'm not going to show you the entire menu to keep these video fully, longer. But what I can tell you is right now it's working dynamic black, but you can push the brightness from I guess a different menu. As you can see here, I can push the brightness. Right now it's 50%, but it's far more than enough. You can use this projector in the echo mode. And if you come here, when you go cubic, it's bright. sRGB is a little bit giving details. And 1.8, I can dim it down. It was about 2.35. So I was showing you the less bright version like this, but when you go cubic, as you can see, it is much more brighter. So you got to test these out for your taste and for the movie that you watch. So let me know what you think under the comment section below. Does this projector style make sense for you? For me, it's useful because when you want to go big without losing too much of a brightness and really enjoy the picture, I guess these style projectors could be better. I'm not saying you should be focusing instead of maybe $1,000 similar price, like $100 or $200 difference. It's not extreme for this level. Projectors like a JM Go, maybe Anchor, maybe, well, XGA, I guess. Those sort of projectors could give you the lifestyle effect, like Android built-in dongle and, opening and closing automatically, autofocus capabilities, okay, fine. But the 1000 ANSI lumen, this is their declaration most of the time, could go up to, down to probably 800, 700-ish ANSI lumen, and this is in the standard mode, in the Echo and standard, about 2000. So this is a pretty much extremely bright projector compared to them, and it's LED, and it has low noise. By the way, the noise level, there will be two sections that you see the different measurements, but when it comes down to watching a movie, it is creating on the top of the device 36 decibels. But if you go a little bit 50 centimeter away from it, it's about 27. So if you're going to place this projector about a 50 centimeter, you won't be hearing it. Speaker-wise, it has a mono probably default speaker, so it's not a multimedia speaker-wise. But let me just, by the way, when I talk about it, Let me just find at least a video at the playback. So you can probably maybe solve the problem, okay, of the resolution by going far away. I've tested with my eyesight. I am watching the videos like this size, like 150, from a distance of 3.5 to 4 meters. But when you go 4.5 to 5 meters, this is easily watchable without seeing the pixels, at least for my eyesight. Of course, you might be saying you can't see the pixels. When you can see, let me just tell you, it's clear. You can look at the thin, beards or thin lines. When you see thin lines, it will look like a little bit gaming without FSA or gaming without a corner correction, edge correction. But if you go 5-6 meters, you won't be noticing in the action while everything moves around. But if you're so picky, at least go by the full HD. I guess I've explained enough. I made another video about this projector, and with TV comparison, I made a dedicated side-by-side how much brightness that you might need for a setup like a white wall or a white screen. So those videos are going to come to the channel. Subscribe, like, and try to hype the videos. I think this is a great image without too much of a high cost, and you're going to see the high contrast. And this is definitely suitable for ALR setup. And maybe in the future videos, if you give a lot of likes and subscribes, and I will create a dedicated section with this one, especially with an interesting idea. And before the end of the video, I will be leaving you with the slow motion latency, slow motion voice, audio level meter shots, and also I will leave you with the box content. So this was the full conclusion. You have seen the specs on the screen, you have seen the picture on the screen. I don't want to keep the videos extremely long with adding another stuff to it, but definitely I'm trying my best to tell you as an honest opinion. And I bought these stuff even though I don't need them, so giving a like and thumbs up will help the channel to grow. Personally, I would pick the full HD version, and I am also thinking in the future videos maybe laser, single laser, Optoma full HD models. How are they look like compared to these style projectors? But definitely I wasn't expecting this much of a quality out of a kind of like a low budget when it comes down to the brightness and contrast projector. Again, ViewSonic is not the best projector, especially for this price range. For the colors, you got to adjust it a little bit, but it's not going to be a cinema grade. This is a presentation and home use projector, and I think it really success where it stands. So let me know what you think, as always, under the comment section below. If you have experience with LS600W or similar family members from the ViewSonic, write at the comment section below. I would use this one daily with an echo mode at 120 inch or 135 like this without any issue as a daily base. But I would pick an ALR because this much of a brightness really deserves an ALR for at least even better blacks. You can adjust it for a dark room, but for a better black like TV level, ALR a must be. So, hope to see you in the next video. But before the end of the video, I want to walk through the room, okay? Take the camera and walk with you. Let me just take the camera. This is the furniture. Everything is white. And when I go 150, you might be saying like, why am I talking about this? The ceiling is too close to the picture, so the bouncing backlight, I made a dedicated video, also creates a contrast loss. But even with this sort of close to the sidewalls and the ceiling, the image is highly contrasted. So you are seeing what I'm seeing with the open exposed settings, and I'm going to walk through, and you can see compared to the 150 inch image, 75 look like a toy, just as a TV. And from here, I guess around 6 meters of distance, and you couldn't tell there is a sharpness issue or there's a resolution issue. And I'm going to create a whole another tutorial why. But basically, when you go far away, you don't see pixels, but I'm going to explain it in the detail. And this is the ViewSonic LS600W. And I think the performance is great considering what you pay for. So, if you want to see more, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me just get close a little bit, just a little bit, and go low, okay? This is as low as I can, and take this pillow away. This is about it. This is what I am watching when I'm sitting right in front of the first seat. But to show you how much of a pixel, you might be wondering for 720p. Let me just take a look at the remotes, okay? I want to take the remotes and stop the video. So this is a 150-inch image, okay? And the camera is auto exposed. So I'm going to get close to show you how much pixel we can see it with a 720. The camera is trying to auto expose. Let's hit it. And I'm going to dial down a little bit. You're seeing a little bit of noise, right? But you are also seeing the pixels. So this is the pixel level. The white, I guess, that clearly shows. This is the pixel level. So if you are closer than 4 meters, you can see the pixels. But let me just get back. So I will play the video. Once you play the video, this is the picture. So you can't really tell. At least 8 out of 10. I'm getting close. Can you tell? It's getting harder. Some of the going green kind of stuff is because of the auto exposure. Don't get it wrong. It's not a picture problem. And that's about it. So if you're in sort of stuff, let me just stop the video and go up high. And I'm going to hit, this is the contrast that I see. At least I can adjust for this level for the camera. Hope to see you in the next video. I will be leaving you through the rest of the video. Don't forget to subscribe and like. And hoşça kalın from Turkey. Welcome to the box opening section of ViewSonic LS600W. As you can see, the model is right here. So this is a big box when you consider it. 1, 2, it's kind of like 3. From diagonal standpoint, it's about probably 60 centimeters. I'm going to use my knife. This is an open device. I already purchased it before, and it has some sort of damage. So make sure you don't have a crack on the box, at least a big one, to give it a, bit of problematic damage. Before opening it, you might want to return it to the seller. So you got to make sure, because they put a lot of protection layer inside of this sort of, this is a 720p projector, but it's actually kind of like an office style. And also I can consider this, it's not a professional cinema projector, but it's, I guess, we can call this a pro level office projector, and it really performs good. You're going to be probably watching these sections early sections of this video. This is a European power cable. This is a UK style, I guess, power cable. And this is the remote that we all used to from different ViewSonic models, and it looks pretty good. So when we take all these aside, what do we have? Like VGA cable. I don't think we need it, but that's a nice touch. I would have wished an HDMI cable. But anyway, we're going to live what we got. So this is the user manual, LS600W, and the connections and the menu. And it's also showing the throw ratio, kind of like 4 by 3 to 16 by 9-ish. So I'm going to get the user manual here. Since this is a big device, I don't recommend you to try to pull it out. Just make the corners around like this and then try to leave it. It's going to be open up like a computer case. If you ever taken a computer case filled with equipment like VGA cards and big coolers, you might want to do that because they are getting heavier once they got the hardware inside. So I'm acting slow. I'm holding it for safety. Going slow is the key. So I think I've finished it, and I'm going to try to be as polite as possible to the device. And yes, that's about it. So this is where we are right now. And as you can see, this is the box content. Let me just take a look again. Take a good close look at this remote control. We got everything: volume up and down, zoom in and out, page up and down, mute, timer, echo mode, color mode, network mode, and also some keystones and also many adjustment: HDMI 1, HDMI 2, power on and off, and also enter button for laser. Probably this is for presentation, for laser function. If you're going to point out something on the presentation, exit in the menu, aspect ratio, freeze, pattern, and blank. All these things are very easy, make this device very easy for presentation and mostly for office use. Other than that, we got the cables I mentioned. So I'm going to get the projector close up. But before I do, let me just give you some idea. This is the Xbox Series X gamepad, and this is how big this device is. Let me just show it to you. My hand is about, you're going to see this device size, but my hand is around 22 to 23. Let's call it 23 centimeters. So this is roughly around 46 to 48 centimeters diagonal. And this is a big device. While I hold it, you can have a guess. So we got a big glass on the front. We got a little bit of zoom, okay, and we got of course, the focus puller. But I'm going to show you what I like about this device is it's like a professional camera zoom holders when you attach to the lens to pull the focus more easy. So instead of doing like with the nails, going like this, you hear the sound, you push a lever and it makes things easy, but it doesn't have the smoothest zoom. Okay, some sections is like feels like little jumpy, as you can see it, but when you have the holder, you push it like this and you can make a precise focus. That's a nice touch. This is the focus, I guess, and this is the zoom. As you can see here, the zoom, here is the focus. So this is the zoom in and out, and this is the focus element. Focus is better on the smoothness, in my opinion, and you're going to see it like this when I move it in and out, I guess, just a little bit when I move it. Other than that, we got a big cooler or ventilation on the front, and also we got two legs on the front here, as you can see, for adjustment of the front element. We got quite a bit of extension. These are easy to find and easy to replace later on. This is a heavy device, so it has 4 points of connection for if you're going to ever use it on the ceiling, you might want to do that. And you got a hole for probably a cable inside of here. And this extension, you can travel your cables around here and go back to the HDMI or VGA, whatever you like. But basically, this hole can get power cable or HDMI cable ideally. Other than that, I think the big things won't be slipping through this thing. Other than that, what do we have at the back? 2 HDMI ports we're going to be using. Audio out and audio in, RG45 network cable and power input, and Kensington lock if you're going to use it. So we got Crestron and the color, super color for ViewSonic, I guess, and the HDMI logo, and that's about it. So this is the VGA input, video input for analog if you're going to ever use it. I don't think that majority of you guys won't be using it. 5 volts, 1.5 amp, which means this can probably run any Android box or any dongle, which means I'm going to be using my dongle mostly with this. And this RS232 is for probably data connection or update. At the top, we got the buttons, very similar. Let me just hold the remote control. With this, as you can see, the same buttons applies on the case. That's a nice touch. And you're going to be seeing the LED temperature and the power input, source, menu. It's a heavy device. That's why I'm breathing a little heavier. Blank, color mode, everything is the similar as the remote control. That makes it very easy to navigate through the device itself, instead just relying on the remote. Even if you lost the remote, you can find these universal ones pretty cheap. That's a nice thing to have. And other than that, we got LED. Let me just hold it like this, LED logo. So this is an LED projector for a long life, and this is the ViewSonic logo. And around the side, this is another ventilation point. So here we have probably the input, and probably this side is, no, sorry, the fan is here. It will be rotating from here and probably getting the air this way, sucking here and exhausting here, because of the passive is port of the fan is around here. So the cold air comes from here, hot air goes from here. That's about it. This was the physical part of LS600W, and I think I am a little tired, but probably you watch this section in the end, so you don't have any questions until this stage. But one thing is for sure, in the end, I want to repeat it. The color of the remote control doesn't match perfectly for the projector casing. I would have wished that could have happened, because let's just face it, it's not that much of an expensive, but these remote controls are mostly used universally for different ViewSonic models, and I guess they don't too much of a care about this sort of an issue. It's not a big deal, but it could have been. So this section is over. This is the first section for me, but for you, probably the last section. I am excited, but if you're in the end of the video, watch this video until now, you are probably considering to buy this thing. So if you skipped any parts, just go back and watch. And if you want to learn more, just subscribe to the channel and watch the content that I create, like tutorials, guides, tips, tricks to get the best picture from any projector and choose the right projector without spending extra cash. And I hope to see you in the next video. Home Cinema and Tech Review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye from Home Cinema and Tech Review, and hoşça kalın from Turkey.